Hello, my name is Phil Lee from Edward Lee's Imports and SunRIseCars. This is Fluffy, the sales manager. And this is a story about my love affair with this machine here, the Honda NSX, my favourite car. Well, maybe it's my second favourite car. It's one of my favourite cars. This is an amazing piece of machinery. The story starts when I was a kid. My dad used to let me drive his Porsche 928S, and he had 8 of them. And we'd go driving in the national parks through the twisty roads. And as a kid, it was a lot of fun. And I kind of liked the Porsche 928. It was a great thing to drive. But one day I saw in the newspaper that this was a new piece of equipment released by Honda. And I said, Dad, go and see your mate, the Honda dealer, and go and test drive one of these Honda NSXs. He was looking to buy a new Porsche. So lo and behold, the next night he's brought home a black 1990 or 1991 brand new demo NSX from his mate, John Newell Mazda. We took it for a mad ride through the national park, and it's a drive I'll never forget. It was a real kind of bonding moment with me and my dad, and he chucked me the keys to drive it back up the twisty roads. I think we were somewhere around West Head in the national park there, and it was one of the greatest, most memorable drives of my life. And by the time we got to the top of the twisty road, Dad and I were both giggling like a couple of little schoolgirls, because the level of grip on this thing and the balance on the tight twisty roads was just a thing of amazement. So anyway, I said to him, Dad, that's it, you got to get this car. So a week later, he comes home with another bloody Porsche 928S. Dad, what are you doing? This car makes the 928 just look like a bit of a heavy Germanic lump. We missed out on owning an NSX, and it was an object of my desire ever since then. So I got my first NSX a couple of years ago, and I foolishly sold it. Some time passed, and 3 ladies knocked on my door at the shop, and they said that they'd seen that I'd had an NSX for sale. Would I like to buy Dad's NSX? Very sadly, Dad had just passed away, and Dad was the dealer principal of Eastwood Honda, a local Honda dealer very close to where we are now in West Ryde. That dealership no longer exists. Their dear old dad had owned this car since it was brand new in 1991, and he's completed a grand total of 38,000 kilometres on this car. That's it. It was very good timing. I'm now the proud owner of this amazing car with 38,000 Ks, Australian delivered. So it's a real time walk back to those days where I went driving with my dad, and I've got my bum back in an NSX again. So this is a very, very special car. It's an NA1 early edition, and I think it's the most pure one. And of course, being a bit of a car nut, I like watching other videos on YouTube about this car. And the one that just tickles me pink, I like watching when Gordon Murray makes a reference to this car as a benchmark car when he made his T50, probably the most incredible supercar that's ever been made, that's just come off the shelves from Gordon Murray. Same reason I think that Gordon found this car special is why I like it. It's incredibly light, and it's a balanced car. So I meet a lot of people that are so-called sort of car people that are into sports cars and things, and they deride this car because of its lack of horsepower. I guess by modern standards, it's not lightning quick in a straight line, but that's not what this car is about, really. It's about the balance of the machine. So this is a car that it's really for people with very refined automotive taste. Yeah, so this was a benchmark car when it came out. Ferrari and Lamborghini would have shit themselves because of the level of refinement. It was just next level. It's got Honda Accord reliability and comfort and convenience, but this went quicker than the benchmark Ferrari of its day. It was faster in a straight line. It went around corners better. It didn't fall apart and break down. Even today, this is better than the build quality of modern cars, in my opinion. It's just incredibly beautifully put together. You just look at the shut lines on it. Apparently they put 16 layers of paint on the car to get the paint just right when it came out of the factory. In 1990/1991, Japan was coming out with some pretty amazing cars, but this was the king of the pack. Not necessarily of outright speed, GTRs. Most of the cars were turbocharged cars. This is an NA car, but this would go around a track as quick as the turbocharged cars. The breakthrough VTEC technology. To me, it's as nice as a lot of those other Japanese supercars are from the 90s, whether it was a GTR or a GTO or an RX-7 or an MR2. They're all beautiful cars, but this was the penultimate of what came out of Japan. Yeah, well, I think it's an ageless design. Just to look at it today, it does not look like an old car. I look at this today and it looked like a contemporary car. It looks like something that could have just been penned yesterday and you could put it on the shelf. This car is completely original, out of the box, apart from the fact we put these BBS rims on, which I think, yeah, that's what it needed, really. The original wheels, they're okay. They're kind of cool. And of course, we've still got them stacked up in the office. Got to have the right rims. The BBSs are the right rims. Bit of a dish, fills out the wheel arches a little bit more. But apart from that, she's 100% bone stock. Pretty much the same car that rolled off the factory floor in Japan in 1991. I do see people on the internet, particularly Americans, love putting big body kits on them and turbochargers in them and 4-cylinder motors in them and all kinds of things. To me, it's a classic car, and to change it from its original design is really, it's sacrilege. If it makes the car look better, it makes the lady's legs look a little bit... Why not? No, put it in, mate, put it in.